Twitch. I haven't started. Hey, how we doing, everyone?
G'day, welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. I think we're the only people in here, but that's okay.
That's okay.
G'day, Twitches.
That's how it
Any Twitches? Any Twitches up and about?
Rio.
Yo,
Hey,
Rio.
hey, Rio. Rio.
Oh, what's going on? My good friend. Elden Ring, 10 out of 10, baby. Best game ever made. 100%.
Yeah, it is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Great.
Well, we're gonna save
We'll get into it.
Gonna save the Elden Ring chats for the cast when we go live, when we start the recording. Which I think you boys are ready to jump right on in.
Yeah, let's freaking get this party started, baby.
All right. Recording starting in 3, 2, 1. And there's the countdown. And then I will start our music when...
G'day and welcome to Oceanic Gaming Radio, your one-stop shop for everything gaming related. My name's Captain Perth. You can call me El Capitano, El Capitini, El Capo, El Capo. And with me here is me good old mate, Grizzly Grizzle Titties himself. How you doing, mate? Welcome on in.
G'day, Cap. How are you going, mate? You going pretty well?
I'm doing excellently, mate. Really well. I've just started working from home completely as of this week.
You didn't tell me that, mate. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I am the opposite. I am literally just ran through my door, hence why I'm still in my work clothes. But keen, mate. Keen as a keen.
Well,
as
yeah,
a
things are starting to fire up a little bit here in Perth. We've gone the longest time without any COVID cases, and now we're in the thousands. So I was like, I don't really need to work in the office, so I'm just gonna work from home. Fuck it.
Are we hitting like 1,000 new cases per day at the moment? Is that what's happening, or what?
Yeah, today was 1.7 thousand, which probably ain't going to sound much to some international listeners, but for us, that's fucking nuts.
I tell you what, I will go ahead and say it. Like us in West Australia, I feel like we've just lived in our little bubble since the start.
Yeah,
managed to remain pretty much, well, reasonably unaffected, like some light restrictions, but we've been pretty lucky to date, mate. I wonder how we're going to go.
Yeah, look, I mean, the bubble did have to burst. It would have been nice if we could have lived COVID-free for the rest of our lives, but obviously that wasn't going to happen. So here we are, batten down the hatches, ladies and gentlemen. But
batten down the hatches, baby. Well, I'm supposed to work a day a week from home as well, Cap, on Fridays. But
just one day?
Just one day, yeah. It just hasn't happened, man. Because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like the company that I work for isn't really equipped to deal with people working from home full time yet. So maybe have the hand forced a little bit. But how does it go for you, mate? Easy transition?
I mean, we're pretty lucky because, I mean, I work for what is essentially an IT company. I work in their development arm. But, I mean, when I say development arm, we're a small business of 10 people currently. So it's pretty easy for us to work from home. We do have some parts of the business that need to kind of be on site for site visits and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, most of us could work from home. It's just kind of like that thing where, you know, it's kind of nice to have that that face-to-face with people when, you know, within your business when you're talking to them about, you know, projects or whatever else. It's kind of nice just to be able to talk to someone right there and then rather than having to send someone a message, maybe getting a reply within half an hour and then you've kind of had to, you know, work around not getting that answer.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the key advantage for me. In my particular role, a lot of it is kind of, well, I'm basically a glorified stakeholder engagement person. Yeah. So, you know, I need this guy to talk to that guy to meet this outcome. And if I'm not there to facilitate those discussions, then, you know, it's that kind of thing is quite hard. I mean, it's good. Teams is great, right? Set up.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. And I feel like that has been, man, imagine how much money Teams must be making now, because that is like the go-to. Schools, everything else.
It would have to be huge. Yeah, it would have to be huge. I mean, that's what we use, and it's what a lot of our clients use as well. It's just one of those platforms that you can do so much with it. It's mental, super mental. But yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next, I don't know, 6 months in terms of working from home. I think a lot of businesses. This is another thing though, Grizz. I reckon that a lot of businesses are going, why the fuck am I paying, $50,000 a year or more for rent when I could just have all my staff work at home?
To have a workstation with your desk and everything else set up the way it is with your monitors and all that kind of stuff. So just most of them hire that equipment. Just the rent on that alone per person is quite huge as well.
Oh, dude, the overhead must be ridiculous. So, I mean, if you think that you could potentially, even if you split your workforce in half and you went essential and non-essential office staff, and I mean more essential in the sense that they essentially need to be in inside the office to perform their role or, get their outcomes. If you split that in half, you split the amount of like space you're using in half. That's so much money you're going to save, right?
Yeah.
Surely these businesses are, but I would assume that a lot of these businesses are going, oh well, I mean, people fairly consistently working from home. They're still producing something. Like, should be okay.
There'd be that trade-off, wouldn't it? How's the hey Cap? How's the health going, mate? I feel like this has been a recurring topic over the last couple of weeks.
Really good, mate. Just
keeping up that
still
lifting,
pumping
mate?
it up. Absolutely, mate. Minimum 3 times a week, pumping it at the gym.
Yeah,
and
very good.
Yeah, it's been. What about you, mate? You still cranking
mate.
as well?
Still sticking to it. Yep, still sticking to it. Hitting PBs every time I go in at the moment. There's a PB on something, which is always
that's
nice.
good, man. That's
I'm
really
sure
good.
There's going to be a point in time where I hit a brick wall and it's like, yep, no, not today, mate. Yeah, you're just not going to hit that. But for now, every day I kind of come out of it feeling pretty good, mate. Pretty good.
Oh, that's great, dude. Absolutely bloody excellent. I think we had a little audio video glitch there, but I think we're okay now.
I did see that.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no, that's great, Grizz. Well, Grizz, look, enough about us, and let's fucking start talking about some video games. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has been announced, Grizz. Have you watched the trailer? Have you watched it?
I haven't watched the trailer. No, so I'm going to be relying on you to tell me all about it. I've done a bit of research around some other stuff, but no, I didn't watch the trailer.
Well, look, the trailer kind of, I quite liked the trailer. It was kind of like this security guard went through like a museum or something and was kind of like found this little weird room, and then it was all this Pokemon stuff in there, and then the trailer starts going, and then the new Pokemon game was announced. It's a mainline game.
Cap, this wasn't part of Nintendo Direct.
No, so Pokemon tends to be its own thing, right, Pav? They tend to do their own announcements and stuff separate of Nintendo Direct. So, can't hear you. Got him. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there you go. So they tend to do a lot of their Pokemon announcement stuff outside of the Directs. They still do bits and pieces here, but I think generally when they have something to tell you about Pokemon, they have a lot of things to tell you about Pokemon because they got so many different fucking legs and arms of Pokemon now, right? They got Pokemon Go, they got these puzzle games that they do, all these events worldwide. Obviously, they got the mainline games and everything else that goes with it. So, and obviously they're still supporting other games as well that have come out fairly recently. I mean, they tend to have a lot to talk about.
So tell me about it, Cap. It's a brand new gen.
Yeah, brand new generation. They've announced the new starters. I am going to tell you what their names are. I have got this right here.
The names are a bit
not
funky.
Googling.
I will.
Hang on. I'm gonna have to fucking Google it because I forgot to get this shit sorted. So they've got the following. Sprigatito, the grass cat.
Oh, the grass cat. Hell yeah.
The grass cat. Fuecoco, the fire crocodile, and Quaxley, the water duck.
All right, who do you like out of this?
When you think about it like that, right? Hang on. Think about it like that. Like they've gone the grass cat, weird pairing of things. The fire crocodile, another weird pairing of things. The water duck. The obvious pairing.
That's pretty obvious, mate. Yeah.
Anyway, so look, I mean, they're pretty cute. I actually think these are probably my favorite looking starters in a while. I think personally, so Sprigatito is kind of like a grass cat looking Pokemon, described to be capricious, attention seeking. Fuecoco is kind of like a little tiny chibi like fire crocodile, described to be laid back and does things at its own pace.
Have we seen the evolutions yet?
No, but a lot of people are getting up in arms about it because often, I mean, I'm sure you played a lot of Gens, Grizz, and a lot of the starter Pokemons tend to go from like these cute little animals into these humanoid like,
oh yeah,
you know, representations of what they kind of go up to like a humanoid thing, and a lot of people just want a fucking just make it a bigger crocodile that's super rad, or just make it a massive fucking cat.
Ends up looking bloody terrible, mate, by the end.
Like, yeah, well, even think about like Blaziken that comes from help me, Bav. What's that one? Torchic. There you go. And that was like, was that Ruby? I think it was Ruby. Yeah.
At this stage,
yeah. Exactly. So yeah. So and then Quaxley, Earnest, and Tidy little duckling.
So Cap,
Pokemon.
who would you choose out of the three, mate? Who would be,
absolutely the fire crocodile?
Really?
He looks so freaking rad.
Duck, mate. Surely the water duck.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all look cool. I actually think the least cool of them all is the cat. I think Quaxley is he's got like one of those greaser like hairstyles going on, like you know, out of grease and shit. Super rad. But it kind of looks like, so they've obviously announced this new game, and it looks like they are drawing a lot on what Arceus has done before it, which is interesting.
This is semi-open world, isn't it? I hear, but it also has gyms like and stuff as well. So
yes, so I guess cool. I guess where a lot of this is going to go is like how much does it deviate from Arceus, because Arceus was obviously supposed to be quite different from the mainline games in terms of its combat mechanics and the way you catch Pokemon and you treat the Pokédex. I guess it's quite different from the usual. You know, so you know your Pokédex, for example, you have different tasks you can complete, and the battle is a little bit more freeform and open. And less strict. I mean, it still has that sort of that move by move kind of structure, but you also don't do any gyms or anything like that. They had boss battles instead. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where the two deviate from, because I mean, in the trailer you could see that the same with Arceus. There's Pokemon all through the field, and I assume that you go out and catch those Pokemon. So I'm wondering what they'll retain.
Have we seen any gameplay trailers yet, or is it just?
Well, I mean, there's a bit of sort of a little bit, not really in the trailer we got recently, but not like a strict. Here's how the game works, and this is what you do. So I would imagine that probably won't be for a little bit longer. But apparently, this game's coming out this year, Grizz.
Dude, this is one thing that I wanted to say. Like how the rate that Pokemon games are being released right now is with the remakes and Arceus and now. Pokemon Violet, Scarlet as Gen 9.
Yeah.
There's a lot of releases over a 3-year period.
If I was a Pokemon fan, and if I was the wallet of a Pokemon fan, I would be fucking crying. That's what I'd be doing. But you're right. It's just one after another. They just keep pumping them out. So I suppose this is the idea, though, right? Because a lot of Pokemon fans are like true blood freaking Pokemon fans, and they will buy every single fucking thing they put out. And so that's what they do. Like Pav.
Pav's got his hand.
Like Pav literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing, I guess, in overall, in terms of how much they deviate from Arceus. I think that's going to be the big one for me. Initially, when you watch the trailer, you notice I think the game looks a lot brighter than Arceus. Arceus, I think, was dulled the colors a little bit. And some people are saying they think the graphics are a little bit better than Arceus. I would argue they are exactly the fucking same.
Oh, man, I would imagine if they're pumping them out these quick, there's going to be assets that are going to be reused.
I reckon what they've done is they basically made Arceus just because they could, and they were going to anyway. What they did is to try and differentiate them and make it seem like the new mainline games had better graphics. They just pumped, like they basically pulled down the the colors of Arceus to make them a little bit more duller, and then they pump the colors up in the new mainline games to make them look really brighter. And oh, look how bright these are, and look how good the graphics look. And it's like, really, when you look at the open world environments that they're showing off in these new games, they look pretty much the exact same.
So, just for noobs that don't know much about Pokemon, that maybe are looking to, as a gateway, drag into the series, what a new generation means is that basically the core set of Pokemon for that particular game are going to be new Pokemon? Is that essentially what happens?
Well, I would assume, yeah, absolutely. They will have, X amount of new Pokemon that will be part of the Generation 9, which will. I mean, how many Pokemon they bring in from the older generations is obviously up in the air. I think from memory, like Sword and Shield didn't ship with the full suite of Pokemon from the get go, and I'm not even too sure if they still have the full suite of Pokemon in that game. So
was that a new gen? That was a new gen? Was that Gen 8? Was it?
Sword and Shield it was Gen 8 had new Pokemon in there. So. Yeah, but I mean, it looks interesting.
How freaking exciting, mate!
Yeah, so Pokemon fans rejoice, for you are about to have more games.
Long term, do you reckon this is like, I'm just talking about pure profit for the Pokemon franchise right now? Do you think this is releasing a bit close to the release of Arceus and any potential DLCs or things that are coming out for Arceus? Are people just going to drop this and go, hey, let's go play this new one? Like, is this going to be...
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's actually a really good question. And I would think they probably don't give a shit. They've probably already made their money off Arceus because everyone would have fucking bought in immediately because they would have gone, oh, Arceus, brand new Pokemon game with crazy new mechanics. Buy the shit out of that. Everyone's gone and bought it, thinking that the mainline games won't catch up for ages. And now they've released this mainline game that looks fairly close to Arceus. And now everyone's like, oh, mainline game similar to Arceus. Got to buy that, Yeah. So, I mean,
the sales for Arceus are pretty dang impressive. You know what's funny? I've just realized now that I probably put a week into Shining Pearl and I haven't touched it. I don't even know why I haven't touched it because I was really enjoying that game. But now why would I go play Shining Pearl when Arceus is there? And then why
would you go and play Arceus when fucking Scarlet and Violet are just around the corner, dude? This is what I mean. You just can't catch up, man. You never will. That's the thing is, like, Pokemon have almost cornered their fans into never being able to play any other game than Pokemon because of how often they fucking make releases.
Don't let them get too deep in the game because they'll realize that there's no end game. Let's go and fucking hit them with another one.
Well, actually, I think Arceus, I still haven't got there because I've just been... my attention's been drawn away, but I think Arceus has a little bit of an end game.
Does it?
So, a small one, not insane, but there is end game content there. Plus, I mean, Arceus has just been announced to have a new free update, and I will tell you exactly what's in that. So players are going to receive 90 free Pokeballs, Grizz. Freaking Ultra Balls, Gigaton Balls, and Jet Balls. Jet Balls.
That was a very
Who names this shit?
Done,
Jet balls. Anyways, and so on top of that, it looks like the mass outbreak system, which is kind of like you go to an area and there's just like a big bunch of one particular type of Pokemon in an area. It's kind of like I believe they call them raids or something in other games. That's getting a bit of an update with new Pokemon types.
This has already dropped, hasn't it? Because I've seen someone on my Twitter today posting about how great this new outbreak was, that he found some shiny flying guy with red eyes that was quite rare and was a bit...
Oh, yeah. So that sounds like it was a shiny alpha Pokemon, which is pretty nuts. So
tell you what it is.
Yeah, someone would be having a real good day if they found one of those. Because the alpha Pokemon, Grizz, I don't know if you know, but they have better stats generally than the base Pokemon of that type.
God.
So it's not only is it shiny, it's
an alpha generally going to have shiny alpha Yanmega.
Oh, that's like the dragonfly looking Pokemon. Yeah. Well, there you go. So I mean, they're going to be, if that's released now, and there's also new ways to battle at the camp training grounds, which is kind of like how you battle trainers. Essentially, it's not online or anything. It's just like NPC kind of battles that you can do. So I'm not too sure exactly what that entails, but I would imagine there's just more ways to do battle and more battle types and stuff like that. So
Cool.
yeah, so there you go, Grizzo. Big freaking
Cool.
news from Pokemon Legends Arceus and Violet and Scarlet. Based purely off the names alone, which version are you getting, Grizz?
I'm a big fan of purple, so probably violet, I'd say.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go
Like the
Scarlet then,
colour.
so we both have different versions.
Yeah, and usually you can like trade Pokemon between the two and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
there's exclusive. Oh, actually, I know about this, Cap. All right. So far they have revealed the difference between the two is your starting outfit and also
Yes.
some Pokemon that you will have available to you to catch.
Yeah. Oh, to catch.
Exclusives. Well, there's exclusives.
Okay. Well,
exclusive
they've done
Pokemon
done that in the
first,
past, right? Like generally there'd be like a differentiation between legendary Pokemon. So I'd be surprised if there wasn't any major differences between the versions. I mean, even look at Sword and Shield, Grizzo. Like you can access to completely different legendary Pokemon, etc. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense that they try and differentiate. Otherwise, they can't sell you. So this is, oh man, they're so fucking smart about this, right? Just the most minute fucking differences, completely different game, right? And it still costs the same fucking amount of money. And then so Pokemon fans go, I have to have both copies because I want access to everything. And so they go and buy both games.
They've got them.
They are so smart. It's insane, and people buy it. People still buy it. It's crazy.
Let's make two identical.
I've just
OGR
unlocked
episodes.
Pab's fucking deepest, darkest secrets. He's crying.
Wait, Pav, do you own Sword and Shield, mate, or what? And Pearl and Diamond? Got him.
Got him.
Cuddles does. I wonder.
Oh,
know
yeah,
what,
that
man, if
wouldn't
it's
surprise
something
me.
you love, you know what? Money's never wasted on something you love. I
Oh,
reckon.
absolutely. Look, if you get, especially if you get time, I actually think when you think about video games, right? If you think about your price per hour playing, they are the best media type ever.
Oh god dang, you're actually right.
Right?
Man.
Like, think about your price per hour. They are out of control. Some games are even better than others, obviously. But if you think about a movie or something, you know, you get 3 hours out of it. You might rewatch that movie a few times, but you know, you think about a game, you spend
You
what?
used to go to Blockbuster and pay $7.50 for an overnighter, and you'd get to watch 2 hours. 2 hours for $7.50. That is a rip off, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the best price per hour media dollar you can spend. All right. So gamers, you're thrifty, you're economical, you're freaking frugal. I like it.
Vampire Hunters Cap, it's like $2, mate. But that is hours of entertainment right there.
Now that's that roguelite game. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it, I might have mislabeled it there slightly, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the one where it's really pixelated, shitty graphics and 8-bit music, and you get weapons and you just attack hordes of zombies and monsters that come at you.
Yeah.
But it is like, I talked to Pete about this. It is the ultimate. What is that chemical? What's in your release?
Adrenaline.
Happens?
Oh, dopamine.
It gives you the biggest dopamine hits. Everything about it, because the enemies you kill, they drop gems. With the gems, you can go purchase upgrades, and like there's like confetti, and it's just a dopamine filled game constantly the whole time. It's great,
dude. I have seen like some stuff. Like I've watched the boys playing it in Discord and stuff. That
was me.
It's hard to imagine it's that fun, but I can see why it would be that fun, if you know what I mean. Like, because it just looks like you're running around in circles for fucking 5 hours.
That's what it is, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that was So look, Pokemon, get ready. It's all freaking happening. But Grizz, do you know what else happened? They announced Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. All right. Before you jump into this, I want to tell you my experience in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I actually remember it. I think it was 2016, quite a long time ago. This was released, and I just acquired my PlayStation 4 at the time, and I really wanted to play a fighting game, and it was just released. I was like, yes, I'm going to get this game. Downloaded it, and it was the most bare bones game I have ever purchased, and I couldn't believe it. I think I paid like nearly $90, but it had, so you know those Street Fighter games, it had a story mode where you'd pick one character and you'd play through all the characters, you get to the boss at the end, and you'd beat them, and then it would give you like a cutscene for your character. It didn't even have a story mode. No story mode.
Jeez.
The only thing it had in it was like a versus mode, and a difficulty of the computer player that you were going to play against.
Wow, that's kind of brutal. Because look, when you think about it, Grizz, like you've got games like Mortal Kombat coming out that are essentially redefining the way fighting games tell their stories, and then you release without a story at all. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like that's really, really poor form.
I went and read. Well, I didn't actually realize this is the case when I bought the game, but apparently that release was targeted at their competitive audience. So they were looking to make a really good competitive fighter. And I have now heard they've done the old No Man's Sky cap where they have slowly released content, story modes, everything else. It's probably worthwhile for me to go down and re-download it now because apparently it was the game that it was supposed to be released on launch, like many of these companies do. Now, it was a slow burn of releasing content. But yeah, it was bad PR. It was, they basically didn't explain why they didn't have any of the basic mechanics in the game.
Yeah, just everything they were missing.
Everything they were missing. And yeah, just not done well. So my expectation coming into Street Fighter, I really hope that they maybe listen to some stuff and release a full game. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see.
Well, look, it's obviously by Capcom. Capcom have, I believe, Capcom do Resident Evil. Is that right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they do. Look, I think they look. I couldn't give a shit about this game, frankly, because I don't play fighting games. The only fighting game I play is Super Smash Brothers, pretty much, and that's just fuck around at work. But look, I think Capcom have shown that they've done a pretty good job with all their remakes for the Resident Evil games in very recent times. I've got a fairly decent hope that they probably will release something that's, reasonable on launch.
Hey, Cap, name one Street Fighter character.
Ryu.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah. I bet you can't name a new character.
A new character?
Yes. As in from Street Fighter 5. Someone that was introduced in the last.
No, I couldn't.
It's so fucking forgettable, man. All the Street Fighter.
Is Guile in Street Fighter?
Guile's from the originals. So Street Fighter 2, the ones that we had on Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo and all those with Blanka and Guile and Ryu and Ken and that core. There's E Honda with the 100-hand slap and Chun-Li. So all of those are iconic Street Fighter characters. And Absolutely. The new ones, I feel like a Street Fighter game hasn't popped to make us love their characters since the ones that we had when we were kids on Super
It's almost
Nintendo.
like it's difficult for them to do it now because they have made such memorable characters that in comparison, you know what I mean? They've kind of like hit a lot of the I guess just vague stereotypes that they can just easily pocket characters into. And so now they're like, oh shit, what do we do now? Like, you know what I mean?
I can't remember what his name is. Maybe someone can look it up and tell me, but they made a fighter that looked a lot like Ken and Ryu, but he was really shit. And his fireball would go like this, like tiny little bit on the screen, and he wore pink, and like he couldn't do the proper fly kick and stuff. He was just like real clumsy.
And that was actually a character.
Yeah, it's a character in there. He was clumsy, but he was actually quite efficient. Like he had some good throws and stuff.
It wasn't like that kung fu thing is like Drunken Fist. It wasn't kind of like that or something, was it?
He was just like a pansy of the good fighters, pretry much. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well. So, all right. Well, Street Fighter 6 has been announced, Grizzo. This trailer looks pretty cool. It's nothing. It's no gameplay or anything like that. It's just kind of like two characters squaring up, which I believe is Ryu and someone else. They're doing that kind of like painted, strong line kind of thing that they've done recently with their art direction, and it's very dark and brooding, and then all this color and shit's going everywhere, and these two square up. And now, Grizz, I'm going to send you a screenshot and I'm going to post it in the Twitch chat, and I just want you to have a really good look at this and tell me what you see.
Let me have a look, mate. What do we got here?
Have a good look at that. I'm just going to describe the scene to the
I see bulges. Is that what I'm supposed to be seeing, or what?
Big schlongs.
Big schlongs. What the fuck, man? Is this official?
Schlong Fighter 6, mate.
Is this official artwork, dude, or what?
Dude, this is literally out of the trailer. Look at fucking Ryu's fucking knob. It's huge. Anyways,
Christ,
so
mate.
the internet's been taken by storm by this literal battle of the bulge, and I think Ryu's winning this particular battle, but that's just from a very, very basic glimpse.
I actually don't know who that other guy is either.
I don't know either. I don't know enough best Street Fighter to really comment. I can comment on the bulge though. I think it's pretty fucking impressive. But yeah.
Well, mate, they need to bring in a new audience somehow, Cap, and maybe this is a bold.
Exactly. You got to make Street Fighter really sexy, crazy sexy. So I actually don't think there's a bulge there. I think it's literally just like where the shadow cuts on the pants. I think it just looks like one at an instant glance.
So is that a freeze frame on the video on the release?
Yes,
video?
and everyone's been going fucking bonkers about it.
Right.
So
how did I miss that? I don't know how. I mustn't be paying attention to social media.
I don't know how you could miss it, mate. It's freaking huge. Yep. Anyway, so Schlong Fighter 6 coming soon. So
wait on, Kat. There's one thing that I did see. Hopefully, don't get in shit for talking about it. But didn't they flack a lot of bad media about using like stock images for their Street Fighter logo, like the Street Fighter?
Oh yes,
logo?
I've completely forgot about that. Yes. So I will. Have you got the logo there, Grizz? Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I don't have it on me, but I've seen it over the Twitter sphere.
I'm just going to post this in the Twitch just so people can check that out at their leisure. But essentially, it looks like the Street Fighter logo that they've gone with for this new game. It strongly resembles what I believe is like an Adobe stock logo, like very
even
close.
The font and everything about it. Like the tweaks on the S and the F are literally from those stock images, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of hard to believe that whoever's designed this didn't pinch it from somewhere, but it's not the craziest thing in the world to happen. Like, it does happen. It's kind of like when you're a musician, Grizz. You play a riff and you're like, yeah, that sounds pretty fucking good. And someone's like, dude, that's fucking this song. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and especially as like things, as more games come out over the years, it's pretty hard to make stuff that's actually original these days.
Well, I mean, everything has a logo these days, right? It's pretty.
Put it this way, I don't hate it. I don't hate the logo. Maybe it's more saying.
I mean, it just looks like a logo.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that it looks so similar to this particular stock photo. So I would assume, Grizzo, that they'll be getting the design team to work quick smart on fixing that one before release.
I wonder if they will. Well, it looks nothing like their previous artwork, mate. There was always the red and orange and like scripted across the across the screen. This is very much structured and straight lines and symmetrical, and it was never like that. The other ones were almost like it was a splatter of blood or fire or something. Interesting.
I would think that they'll probably have to change it just because of how much hoo-ha has been made about the comparison online. And I would think that you would need to probably... Look, I would think that Adobe could potentially sue them for this.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty damn close.
Moosey's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, get the Moosinator in. Now, for those at home listening, go and check out our Twitter. And we've got a new banner in there, and it is freaking radical. And the old mate Moose.
Maybe there's some of you that actually don't know what we look like, and I'm sure that there is quite a few of you because you haven't seen us well. Do yourself a favor, get on the Twitter and have a look at the banner because we are, in fact, ogres, buff ogres, aren't we?
Okay. Yeah, in real life, exactly. Yeah, I mean, why would we call this OGR otherwise?
Toenails, muscles. Braided beards and all.
I hope it doesn't come out that Moosey's copied the banner from Adobe stock photos or something.
Yeah, fuck, we'd look real dumb then, wouldn't we?
But yeah, so look, Street Fighter 6 coming soon. I don't think they announced a date. I might be wrong there, but if that's your jam, go and have a bit of a squiz at the trailer. It's a pretty cool trailer.
Will it be 2022? Do you think, Cap? Be 2022, wouldn't it, if they're releasing a trailer? Maybe.
Well, not if they got to redesign the logo, mate. So.
Or the only parting word I want to say with this one is I really hope that they release a full game on release. So it's not because they lost a lot of sales from bad reviews from the release of Street Fighter V. It was just it was very poorly done.
Yeah.
So I hope that they've learned from that.
Yeah, I would hope so, and think that they probably would have, but time shall tell. Now, Grizz, I think we might just get the quick fire out the road, because I'd imagine that our Elden Ring discussion might go for quite some time. So I'm just going to quickly get through some of these quick fire things that we've got in the flanks. So look, the first thing is that there's been, I mean, obviously, so Bethesda potentially working on New Vegas 2 Fallout. Did you ever play New Vegas 1?
I got gifted New Vegas 1 from a viewer saying, Grizz, you need to play this. It is the best Fallout game of all time. But I never actually went and played it. I hear that it is a great game, apparently. Capo,
yeah, it's absolutely a banger. Look, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. I think now that Microsoft has picked up Bethesda, I just think there's more opportunity for Bethesda to do more stuff, and hopefully that means that New Vegas 2 is legitimately in development. It's only rumors for now, but I mean, New Vegas is by far my favorite. I think it shits all over all of them. I just think the way that they approached storytelling and just the structure of the game and where it was set in the desert, in the Mojave Desert, I just think it was much more interesting than the other ones. I mean, look, they're post-apocalyptic games. They're pretty interesting anyway, but I thought number 4 was, to be brutally honest, pretty fucking boring.
Yeah, not great. And in fact, I feel like none of the Fallout releases have been fantastic since some of those earlier ones.
Yeah, I think 3 was okay, and obviously it was kind of the first foray of that game going from isometric top down to, you know, first person 3D RPG. Yeah. But I really do think New Vegas for me is where that it really shined. Like, I think the story, you know, you're literally like a mailman who gets shot in the head, and then you're trying to figure out who you are and why you were shot in the head, and all these other things that happened in the middle of post-apocalyptic Vegas. It's really well done, and it's like just what happens in the world, and you know, there's like a barbaric kind of tribe of people, you know, on the verge of taking over the area, and they're basically emulating the Romans and stuff, and it's very, very cool. Very cool.
One thing that I do really like about the Fallout games is the humor, the dark humor that's constantly filtered through those games. I think
absolutely.
It's really well done, and makes some quite hilarious situations. And you know, sure, the way that they have integrated quite in depth, like skill and leveling up, is pretty cool. I'd be interested to see. So is this going to be a new gen console release, Cap? Have they said?
Look, I'd assume so. Again, it's only rumors, so we don't know an awful lot about it. All we know is that it might be in development. It might not. Cool. So who knows? But I mean, going from there, Grizz, I mean, they're obviously also working on a Fallout TV series for Amazon Prime TV, I believe.
Ooh.
So
I
think Microsoft that could be cool.
Own Bethesda too now, right, Cap? I wonder if
they do.
There's going to be, maybe they'll pull their fingers out a bit, and it might be, I don't know, a bit better release this time.
Look, yeah, it will be interesting. Look, I would think that's actually a good point. Is whether, I mean, if they do have a Fallout TV series in the works, do they try and pump out a game to sort of go in line with that release of the TV series?
Good idea. Dude, a Fallout TV series would be awesome. We already know that people love the post-apocalyptic thing. I think that Fallout does it in quite a unique way that hasn't really been in a TV series to date. And what I'm talking about is that dark humor piece, and the way that they've kind of done that in the games is quite unique. And I think that'd be go down quite well. Is it a series, Cap, or a movie?
It will be a series. Actually, going back to that dark humor thing, one thing I think when you mix medias between games, video games and movies and TV, sometimes things that work well in games do not work well in TV or in movies at all. And sometimes the humor can come across as quite kitsch and a bit lame. So it'll be like, I hope that they get some decent writers in there. They try to draw on that dark humor, but still execute it in a way that makes it fun, but not lame. You know what I mean? Because in a game, like, you can get away with a lot because it's just like these quirky, weird, like 3D models that are running around in this environment, and then bugs happen, and it just seems a bit stupid, Whereas when you've got a human acting out this part and they say a stupid joke and you're like, oh, yeah, that was a bit lame. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
So it'll be interesting to see how they, like, execution is going to be key with this. I feel like we've seen so many shit video game movies in the past. Like, look at the Warcraft film, that was pretty average. The Doom movie with The Rock, that was garbo tier.
Mario a long time ago, but that was not great either.
Well, maybe the new one's gonna be the redeeming movie with old Chris Pratt as Mario.
Dude, times have changed so much, Cap. Like, I feel like back when we were kids, and maybe a bit before that, it was almost like if you were a gamer, you were a nerd, and you were kind of you weren't shunned, but you were. I feel like those that went out and played sports and were more active were definitely the popular kids at school and everything else, jocks, that kind of thing. How media is being gobbled up by the public in terms of gaming being way more mainstream, turning gaming things into movies. It's completely like it's not like that anymore.
Well, I mean, people are talking in the chat about
for playing Dota 2, Cap, now, I reckon, mate.
Especially when they see my support abilities, mate.
That's it. Crystal Maiden Main, baby.
Yeah. Well, people in the chat are talking about the new Uncharted film, saying that that's pretty good. I've heard pretty good reviews, and I believe that Sony's made quite a lot of money off that film already. I don't know any specifics.
That's great, man.
Yeah, so I think it's been executed really well. I was a little bit worried that I thought, what's his name? Marky Mark. What's that guy's name?
Mark Wahlberg. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I thought Wahlberg and Tom Spider-Man, whatever his name is, I didn't know how they would gel together, but I've heard that their on-screen kind of relationship my brain is just not working.
Did it deteriorate?
Yeah, my brain's just short-circuited. Jesus. Nathan Drake and Sully are the main characters out of Uncharted. I was a little bit worried that because Nathan Fillion voices Nathan Drake in the games. I wasn't sure whether they'd be able to get that sass level on the screen with those two actors, but apparently it's pretty good.
Did they get it?
It's pretty good.
Dude,
what do you reckon,
Mark
Pav?
Wahlberg is a fucking legend. I will just go ahead and say that. My wife loves Mark Wahlberg. She thinks he's just amazing. Can do everything.
What did you think, Pav? Have you seen the movie? How do you think their relationship kind of came out on screen? Yeah. Yeah? Tom Holland, that's his name. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see how he'd be a good young Nathan Drake. I really do hope that they get Nathan Fillion in there because Nathan Fillion's a freaking legend, dude. I love that guy. He's so fucking funny. And I hope that they bring back Firefly. God damn it. Make it happen, someone.
So, Cap, I already know you're number one, mate. But if there are any games that you would like to see making their way to series or movies that haven't already been announced, what would you go? Bloodborne number one. You don't have to say that.
Yeah, I mean, you knew I was going to say Bloodborne, so I'm trying to think of something a little bit left of field.
Any storylines really grab you in gaming? Any storylines? BioShock is one that has been announced that's coming to series.
BioShock would be good. I actually think Horizon would be all right. I think they could do a decent job of that.
Dude, God of War, but that's already like a movie. You could go watch the cutscenes already and kind of have a movie.
Who would play the God of War? Who would play him? Kratos. Who would play Kratos? I mean, you could do Christopher Judd. You could easily do Christopher Judd. Judge, sorry.
Who's the guy from Die Hard? What's his name?
Bruce Willis. What
I don't
about
think
people have suggested Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
the old guy the old grumpy guy, he could be pretty good.
He needs
He
to
need to
be
do some gym.
emotionless.
Yeah, I mean he
Needs
is
to,
pretty fucking emotionless
he is
in that
emotionless,
TV
mate.
show.
It fucking
Um,
hurts my soul watching it because
and then
yeah, it's
Charlie,
it's great.
what's his name? Shimale. It's the kid out of fucking June. Chalamet. Timothy
Dude, I
Chalamet.
haven't seen June. June?
Dude,
Dune?
what haven't you?
No, I
Oh,
haven't seen
dude,
it yet.
it's so fucking good. Oh
Really?
my god. Yeah, I mean, but I'll eat anything that's sci-fi, space
Yeah.
sci-fi. I would. Yeah, I mean, I
Maybe
pretty much
I'm
would
going down
give
to see
anything
my old
a
man. And
pass.
I'm going to Albany this weekend, Cap, by the way. Heading down there.
Oh well, go and watch
My old
June with
man
your
is
old man.
Yeah, he's a big sci-fi buff, so maybe I'll
Dude.
have a little.
Yeah, see if you can
father-son
go and see
day.
that somehow. I don't know if it's on anything at the moment, but
Mm.
yeah,
Pirate Bay,
I
baby.
highly recommend it, dude. It is cinematography is out of control, and it is a legitimately great story as well. And I think they do a really good job of just turning that book into a film, like just excellent, absolutely freaking excellent. But yeah, so anyways, Fallout TV series coming soon. But Grizz, on that note, also the Halo games are being moved into the TV series realm.
We've seen trailers and things for this already popping up. I believe. Where did I see it? Was it on Netflix or somewhere? I've seen it somewhere.
I don't know what it's releasing on. I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime again. It seems like Amazon Prime's picking up a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Dude,
and game
I want to
related
watch
stuff.
that Critical Role. That Critical Role Vox.
Well, what's that on? Is that on Netflix?
No, it's on. It is on Prime Video.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have heard really good things about that, and I've heard it's just really well done.
I'm a massive Critical Role fan, so I've listened right up to the current season. I need to go and watch the animated series. It'd be great. Anyway, sorry, Cap. Yeah, Halo. So
yeah,
what do you know about it?
Well, not an awful lot. It does look like it's going to be kind of like a small contained season about like a so the Halo games take place on Earth in the future. The universe is under attack from the Covenant, which are an alien race of an alien group of different alien races that are basically just taking over planets and shit like that. So I guess this TV series kind of looks like it's like a little part of humanity withstanding the onslaught of the Covenant in the desert or something like that. That's kind of the vibe I got. It looks like the few characters from the games are coming in, like obviously Master Chief, Dr. Halsey, who is the doctor who essentially created Master Chief, and a few other things. But Grizz, probably the biggest one that has set the internet aflame with the fires of rage is that they're showing Master Chief's face in the series, in the TV series, which has not happened in game, can I just add.
And they've made a particular point at particularly not showing his face in the game as well, haven't they?
They have. They've alluded to him like taking his helmet off and you seeing half of his face, I think at one point. Just some other little bits and pieces, but you haven't seen his full face, so no one knows what Master Chief actually looks like in game.
Interesting, mate. Have we seen it in any of the clips yet, or
no? But the guy who plays the Mandalorian, I think, is the guy who's playing Master Chief in the thing. I'm just going to confirm that because that could be quite the ridiculous claim that I'm making.
Dude, I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet either. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Have not seen it. Listen, dude, I need more time. Can you lend me some of your time, please, Kat? You haven't got any time either.
I don't have any time.
Who's got time? They can
nothing. Definitely not me.
I just want to play Elden Ring and watch video movies and series and just relax, mate.
Actually, I'm wrong. It's not him. I'm an idiot. It's a guy called Pablo Schreiber, who is a Canadian-American actor. So, yeah, just don't even listen to me. I don't know why I fucking thought that. A guy in a helmet, I've just gone, got to be the same actor.
Yeah, same bloke. It looks the same with the helmet.
So
on.
I guess this is what Master Chief is going to look like, Grizzo. He's going to look like a. I'm just going to chuck it in the Twitch chat.
Have you got a link
so
for me?
Everyone can. Apparently,
if you're listening on the podcast, guys, these are the advantages you can get from being watching us live.
Dude, how do I copy a freaking?
Twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio.
There we go. Hopefully, you can see that.
By
That's
the
what
way,
Master Chief looks like.
I do want to thank those
just
that are
a
listening,
handsome Anglo-Saxon man, just freaking with a beard, fully ripped. That's basically the guy. That's what you can expect, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus.
Yeah. So no bulge in that picture, might I add, that I can tell. But Grizz, what I wanted to get at with this is I actually feel quite annoyed that they're doing this. That they're going to show off his face in the TV series, because I feel like that should be reserved for the games.
Yeah, but Cap, there's a couple of things. It would be quite hard to have a whole series and engage with the characters if you can't see his face.
And that's what they're arguing.
Yeah, and
that's
also
what they're arguing.
In the past, having like to 3D render a face on the original Xbox or whatever, like they look like shit. They look like polygons, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a bit of a purist here, and I'm just going to sit on my little hill and yell at the clouds. But I really do feel like, them doing something as crazy as showing Master Chief's face should have been done in the games, not in this random TV series that doesn't really seem to really click in super well with what's happened in the games anyway. It just seems to be like this one unique story that's kind of happening off on the side, which I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they execute, but
you're the homeowner that's yelling at those damn kids out the front saying, "Get off my lawn!" And the lawn's video games and the kids are movies, pretty much is what's happening.
And I'm exactly right. And I'm going to sit on this lawn and I'm going to continue to yell until someone listens to me, which won't happen.
I can hear where you're coming from, Cap. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really do feel like that it's such a, it's one of those things where every game people have been like, oh, I wonder if they'll show his face this time. Well, and they never do.
What if the actor's shit? And
exactly,
the people that are playing the games are going to be like, oh, I'm going to play this game, but the person that's Master Chief I don't like, and all of a sudden they're tainted while playing a game, thinking that okay.
Yeah. See, this is the other thing, right? I've played the more recent Halo game, Infinite, which is quite good actually. I've really enjoyed my time with that game. And Master Chief as a character is very stoic, and he's always got a little quippy line to say, like after everything. It's like, I don't know. It's not quite like Bruce Willis levels of or like Duke Nukem levels of like quippiness, but it's just kind of like, we got to go there. And that's it. That's all he says. It's like, where are we going? Out of this rock. It's just like, he's just always got something to say like that. And that's all he really says. He doesn't have really big, meaningful conversations. That's all he kind of says. And I just cannot see them really recreating that in the TV show, because like you said, they're going to have to try and characterize him, make him seem kind of like, humanize him a little bit. Obviously try to learn more about him through dialogue. So I can't see them having, because I love that about Master Chief. I think he's so fucking cool. When he's just saying
because
those
he doesn't
lines.
Say anything, mate. He's just fucking busting up aliens.
He's a cool mother trucker.
Did you ever watch Red vs. Blue, Cat?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great show.
But
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, great
Halo
shows.
media right there.
Yeah. But I mean, basically, not to go on about it any further, but pull your heads in, Microsoft. Don't let them do that. Stop it. All right. Now, Grizz, we've gone through. We've eaten our salad.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a little potato, and now it's time to get into the steak, the freaking Wagyu beef
protein,
of the podcast.
The yeah,
we're going to get into the Wagyu beef of the podcast, and we're going to crack it open. The Elden Ring thoughts and preview.
The age
or review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the creme de la creme, my friend. Grizzo, I just want you to just tell me what you're rating it out of 10. I don't even want to know what you think about the game. Just tell me. Give me a number.
It's 10 Grizzlies out of 10, and I will I will back that up by not even talking about the game, but telling you how it has made me feel as a gamer, because I feel like I'm on this as a 35-year-old white male who lives an ordinary life and works in the city, that I've been hunting constantly for a game that fills the void of something that I used to feel when I used to game in my younger days and when I was in my early 20s playing World of Warcraft, and thinking of those very memorable gaming moments like completing Chrono Trigger for the first time, or first time I ever jumped on Super Mario World, or what going downstairs and seeing my Nintendo 64 on Christmas Day. Well, Elden Ring has brought me back into. It is the only game I'm playing at the moment. I am basically married to Elden Ring for now, and I think about it when I'm not gaming, and it 100% has exceeded my expectation on what I hoped and thought that it would be. And I am 100% there for it. I think they have delivered above and beyond. Obviously, there's some issues, and we can get to those a bit later.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way it has made me feel as a gamer and captured my attention, it has well and truly delivered on that for me.
Dude,
I'm emotional about
so
it.
the same. Dude, I'm tearing up listening to you. You know, it's I feel the exact same, man. I actually cannot tell you the last time I have legitimately, all I've thought about whilst being at work is just playing fucking that game. And Elden Ring, it's all I can fucking think about. Like, I just want to be playing that game all the time. It is that good. Look, I'm gonna put the fucking. I'm not gonna wear the blinkers. I know this game isn't for everyone.
Yeah,
totally understandable. And if it's not your cup of tea, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, this game does so many things right with what I look for in video games that it is actually kind of creepy, to the point where I'm like, did you just fucking drug me? And I told you everything I could ever want in a game, and I have no recollection of this moment, and I've just been inserted back into in my everyday life, and now here's this fucking Elden Ring game, and it's the perfect fucking game.
I feel the exact same way. I think there's so many aspects as to why they've done that, and hopefully we can attempt to touch on why that is. And I think for me, opening up the can of worms here, Kat, but it's the open world nature of it, right? And I want to just bark on about something that Miyazaki said in a very early interview. He was asked, is this going
to say, Miyazaki is the main game developer for Dark Souls, the Dark Souls series, Elden Ring, etc. Just to interject.
There was a lot of questions early on whether he was going to be introducing a difficulty mechanic into the game. Would it be accessible to more people than the current Dark Souls games were? And his answer was yes, it's definitely going to be more accessible to more people than Dark Souls. But he didn't do that through introducing an easier difficulty. No. It is a fucking mastermind of a movement and game creation, because what he's done, if you Dark Souls 3, for example, Cap, you start the game, you walk down a skinny road and you're confronted with Gundyr, this massive big bloke with a big spear, and as you're trying to learn the game mechanics, you will get stomped on over and over and over again,
and you can't progress beyond him until you beat him.
Exactly. You cannot progress. You can't go anywhere. All you can do is kill a couple of skeletons, but you can't even use the souls that you've got from those skeletons to upgrade your hero. So what they've done is the option to get stomped over and over again by an early boss is potentially still there in Elden Ring, but they have allowed your choice as a player to go off and do other stuff in an open world that has no bounds if you want to. So it's like they've completely made the game accessible to people that haven't played the franchise before, without having to grind your face along the floor to learn the mechanics. You can slowly ease your way into the game. Feel like you're getting a bit of the hang of the dodging or a particular move set or items or whatever it is. They've really allowed you to do that, should you want to.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think you're right. I've had friends say this is the hardest and easiest Dark Souls game they've ever played, and I think what they've done is they've crafted this experience where the open world gives you access to a variety of challenges and they are challenges. Every single one of them can be difficult depending on how you approach the game, what kind of weapons you want to use, how you approach combat.
Mm.
The thing is with Elden Ring is they've given you here is the path that you need to go on to complete the game, or here's fucking the continent. Go and have a look out there and go and become stronger and then come back. And I've done that in the game. I went and did the main objective, or went to attempt it, reached the boss, went, holy fuck, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this anytime soon. Went out and explored the first major continent, went back and still had a rough time with him, but, was, much stronger at that point. They've done a really good job. I think this game will get a lot more people into the Souls games, because I think it definitely is more approachable because there's more options for you. You don't feel like you're being pigeonholed into one particular linear thing that you have to do. So you can go and do other things to learn more about the game, learn more about the mechanics, try different things like we were saying before, fight different bosses. And those different bosses will give you different kind of ideas on how to do things.
Previous in Dark Souls games, you get stuck at a boss and that's where you are for hours, because that is your progression. That is your progression point right there, is that boss. And
you're locked at that point.
You're locked in that point, and that just isn't the case in Elden Ring. I mean, to a certain extent, like if you want to proceed the story, yes, you're going to have to follow the story mechanics, but I mean, the world is so freaking huge that
it's massive, dude. I keep going into new areas and I'm just like, holy shit.
I have sunk 20 hours in now since I've had the game, which is I've had no time. I don't know how I've managed to do that. Basically, I've been getting home and playing at least a couple of hours per night, but I have barely touched the story. That is all exploration. And the open world nature cap, the way that they've designed the open world and you being able to explore is like, it is genius. So there's so many different little intricacies that can happen while you're exploring, whether you're unlocking story components, meeting NPCs, finding items, trinkets, kind of unlocking more of the story as you go, that every little bit that you sway off the main path and you're exploring is valuable in some form or another. It doesn't feel like, and I feel like that's where, I mean, people compare this to the open world nature of Breath of the Wild, but I actually feel like Breath of the Wild, I felt like I was wandering quite aimlessly at times, whereas the dungeons that I was entering into in Breath of the Wild were quite samey for me, and you might find a Korok seed, which is one in that you need to collect 50,000 of these things. Elden Ring just isn't that. Like the things that you're finding when you're exploring are actually
they're useful. Every single thing you find is like a weapon, and you're like, oh, that's fucking radical. This gigantic, hammer that does this with this new move I've not seen yet. Like everything you find in that game generally, when you come to, and this is the thing, I think they've populated this open world perfectly, because like you're saying before with Breath of the Wild, you go through large swaths of land that really did make it feel open and encompassing, and wow, this is such a big area. But you would, like you said, you'd go between areas and sometimes you wouldn't really find anything, or you come up to a thing and maybe you just get like a bit of steel or some shit. But whereas with Elden Ring, like most of the sites you visit have something of value there that are very useful. And I think on top of that, they've I would say almost perfectly built this open world where you don't have to travel too far to the next thing. Most of the stuff is in fairly close proximity, but the open world's massive as well. Everywhere you go, there's something else there. It's mind-boggling.
You also meet adversity on every corner, something that's going to challenge you. So it's not like you rock up to a place and you fucking kick everyone's ass and you get their loot. It's like you might rock up to a place and you find an enemy or a boss that you have never seen before, that you need to spend time to figure out exactly what you're doing. You kill that guy and then you get the loot, and it's like the endorphins of, fuck yeah, I did it. But then you've got this still a massive map for you to explore that all like, if this is what Elden Ring is going to be like, I've put 20 hours in. If this is what's going to be like for the next 100 hours, dang, I think I'm done, dude, mate. I'm just going to play Elden Ring.
So I mean, I think I might have close to 30-ish hours. And I don't think I've done 2 major areas, plus progressed the storyline onto my 3rd major area. And again, we're trying to be fairly spoiler free here, people. So I think that I've still got a lot of hours left because I am going through the world with a fine tooth comb, and it is taking me forever to do shit. Like I refuse to go straight to the next main area because I just have this gigantic zone that I've got open to me that I know is going to be full of meaningful content that I can go and do. You know what I mean? And the way that the From Software team does storytelling isn't just through dialogue and NPCs and cutscenes. It's through the world as well, and the way that they design their levels. Like you go to a new area and you find this new place that you haven't been to before, and you learn something about that world from how they've built that little landmark that you're going to, whether it be a camp or a fort or a cave or something. You learn something about what's going on in that area, and it is a fucking masterclass of game design. It is just every time I play that game, I'm glued to it. I don't feel fatigued.
I wonder, Cap, where George R.R. Martin's reach came into that kind of thing. I mean, I feel like that's always been part of the Souls games, but I do feel like it's extra. Even someone like me, I've never been a lorehead reading into things, but I feel like the story-driven components of Elden Ring so far and the dialogue and the different things that have happened have inadvertently pushed its way into my brain without me having to read too much into things. And
I think
it's a smart way.
I think obviously for those at home, George R.R. Martin was essentially contracted to come and help world build with Miyazaki, the main game director of Elden Ring and the Soulsborne series. So as to what he had to do, he obviously built a lot of story content, but I think what he probably did was worked a lot on building grimdark characters, right? Because a lot of the Souls games are all about these very fallible characters that have redeeming qualities, but also very non-redeeming qualities. And so creating characters that are believable, but also have those two things, that sort of duality, of pros and cons to a lot of people. This whole idea of grimdark fantasy, right? That is what these games are. And that's definitely what Elden Ring is. Trying to build characters that coexist in this world that I guess Miyazaki probably roughly loosely put together and had George R.R. Martin come in and fill the gaps on some of these people. Like said, I've got this character, flesh him out with some cool shit that he does, and goes and does that.
And
so
you know what, what you've just explained there in the way of having this quite dark, brooding universe that's Dark Souls, Soulsborne in general, is a reason why a lot of people don't enjoy the games, because of that dark feeling and nature to the game.
It's very raw, and I mean, it's not going to be for everyone, and that's fine. And the thing is, there's games all kinds of different games for all kinds of different people, and Dark Souls won't be for everyone. A lot of people will be really put off by the difficulty because the game is still very fucking hard. It's still accessible, but the game is still very fucking hard.
And I think part of the reason why it's so hard for new players to get into is that nothing, Cap, is spelt out to you. Well, very little is spelled out to you.
But also, Grizz, on top of that, these days, games are so handholdy and they are built for you to win.
We were whinging about this the other day, mate. Fucking nothing pisses me off more than jumping into a brand new game and then you've got to spend the first 2 hours going through every single stat and game mechanic that game has to offer, and every little bit. Pokemon is an absolute classic for that, where you're literally handheld around the whole game first. This is how you throw a Pokeball, and this is how you use a potion, and this is your map, and this is your next quest that you have to go to. Elden Ring does none of that. To the point of where you can literally fuck your playthrough up, like I have nearly done by killing a very key NPC at the start of the game.
Exactly. By accident.
Because
you didn't know what you were supposed to do, right?
But
I mean, that's the thing, Grizz, is it all comes down to audience, right? And look, a lot of people will argue this until their cows come home. I'm going to put my little 2 cents in here right now. I don't think Elden Ring, I don't think any game that anyone makes needs to be anything that an audience or people who think are their intended audience want it to be. I think that game developers and games are an art form. They can be made to be whatever it is. Everything comes down to budget, constraints, and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many different constraints that affect how a game comes out at launch. A game like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, the difficulty is there for a purpose, and that purpose is to make everything you do in that game meaningful. And it is there to generate a sense of accomplishment, and it is there for you. And I will say this from a lore perspective as well. It is there for you to understand, or at least have a feeling of just how important the characters and the bosses that you're going up against are in that greater world. And you overcoming that adversity makes that game so much more satisfying. Without that, if there was an easy mode where you walk through and just one shot everything, the game just would not be what it is. It simply would not be what it is, because that game has been crafted to have that difficulty. And ultimately, in my opinion, you're not going to go to a movie and say, I want to watch this horror movie, but don't make it scary, please. That's not going to work.
Just to add,
makes no sense.
That the way that they've introduced this open world has made it a little bit more forgiving in the difficulty aspect as well. And we talked about it at the start, and maybe we didn't make this clear, but I feel like Elden Ring, if someone was to ask me, I want to play a Souls game, where should I start? Back maybe before Elden Ring came out, I would probably say either start at Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls 1, because I think the mechanics are the easiest in those games. Your dodge roll feels exactly the same between the two. There's storyline in there, both great games, but you still are going to hit roadblocks of difficulty in both of those games. And I feel like Elden Ring, in the way that they have built the world and everything else, I think that is the place to start, because you're not forced to fight anything difficult if you don't want to, without spoiling shit. You can go and explore it, fuck around it, and it'll give you time to figure out the mechanics, figure out your dodge rolls, figure out how to block, how to parry, how to do anything else in the game before you actually have to go and make progress in the game. Just enjoy the game as it is. It's great design. It's beautiful. Yeah. There's amazing areas for you to go.
Absolutely. It's also, I think it's a lot more forgiving on how many I'm going to call them bonfires. I know they're called sites of grace. I'm just going to call them bonfires for continuity between all the different Souls games. But in terms of bonfires in this game, they are littered. They're fucking everywhere. So you don't have these large swaths of area where you're having to run through to get to a boss and potentially dying on the way. A lot of people complained about that with the earlier games.
Dude, Dark Souls 2 was absolutely
brutal.
Horrific.
Super brutal with that. Yeah. But this game is really good. I mean, they even have a different type of bonfire that tends to be outside of a lot of main encounters, where you respawn right back on top of that main encounter, which I really like. I think that's a nice touch. I don't think Dark Souls needed to be that egregious with how much it made you run back through large swaths of area just to get back to a boss. I think it's a nice little quality of life thing. But it's still tough as nails, this game. But I tell you what, beautiful.
Yeah.
The game is gorgeous. Just the way that they present to you the landscapes and what they populate it with. Graphically, it is just amazing. Yeah. Like I went to this new area, and it was like looking at Van Gogh's Starry Night. It was just unbelievable, man. Such a beautiful game.
You take the time to have a look around the landscapes when you're up on top of a big ridge and actually have a look around at what's on the horizon. All that stuff is linked into your story in the world as it is. It's not just like someone's painted a mosaic background and put it there. It's all supposed to be where it's supposed to be. Yeah. And if you see something off in the distance, that is actually something off in the distance. Yeah. That is part of the game, part of the story, part of the lore.
Off you go and check it out, and then you find this crazy thing that you like, this precious item. You know, like it's just, it is such a masterpiece of gaming so far, and I haven't even finished it. I would estimate I'm probably lucky if I'm 50% of the way through that game.
Dude, I don't even reckon. I reckon you're underestimating the scope.
Yeah, I hope so, because I don't want it to stop, dude. I was saying this the other day to my mate Callum. I was like, I do not want this game to end.
Is he playing it, Cap? Is Callum playing it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, okay. And he's loving it as well.
So, Cap, it'd be rude to not talk about the reason why Elden Ring is copping a bit of flack to do with their PC release and other bits and pieces.
Absolutely.
Why the user score on Metacritic is quite low. So what do you know?
Yeah, so well, let's just begin by saying that I think currently, I'm not too sure, I haven't looked recently, but the current critic Metascore is about 96, 97, which makes it one of the highest critiqued games of all time, up there
just
with
to make
Breath of
just
the
to
Wild,
make that clear, that I saw
Ocarina
this on
of Time,
Twitter,
etc.
completely misinformation. That someone was saying that Metacritic score must be paid reviews. So just to make this clear, these people are paid to review the games. They are professional game
Yes.
reviewers, people like ING and GameSpot, all those people that are actually, that is what they do. They write reviews to their jobs. So that 95% Metacritic score is people that are paid to review the game. That know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're not paid to review the game. They're paid because they're reviewing games. So I think, look, I think there's always going to be people who are not happy with the game for this, that, or whatever else. I think a lot of people who don't review games professionally don't look at games from a professional standpoint and just purely look at it from their own emotional kind of reaction to games. Look, we're coming from this saying this is one of the best games we've ever played. So, of course, we're going to be very biased to how we feel about this game because we love the Soulsborne series as well a lot. But there has been some major PC issues, a lot of stuttering, even on fairly decently spec'd PCs. And I think there might be some issues with it not having like widescreen support and some other bits and pieces. So there are some PC issues. I will also preface this with me and Grizz are both playing on PS5, and personally, I've had no issues at all. Nothing. Nada. Some little slowdowns here and there. I'm playing on the performance mode.
Yeah, the one thing, the frame rate isn't constant the whole time. No. And you can feel it sometimes, but it doesn't. I don't feel like it affects your combat or the gameplay. It still feels extremely fluid.
I think generally when you fight a boss, you're in an area that has been tweaked to ensure you don't have massive frame drops and stuff like that. Yeah. At least at this point, I haven't experienced that.
Optimizing an open world on the scale of Elden Ring with all the textures and the complexity of that open world is going to be nuts. Pretty challenging thing to do, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, I have noticed some like things popping in and out depending on, like, sometimes you'll swing around because a lot of games do this thing where it checks where you're looking and everything behind you, it won't load. And then as you turn, it sort of loads things within your periphery. So that you've always got stuff loaded in your immediate like viewpoint. And I assume Dark Souls is doing that because I've noticed textures popping in here and there, depending on when they get knocked back and stuff like that. But look, I think obviously I'm pretty sure Bandai Namco, the producers of this game, have come out and apologized for the PC issues. And I'm guessing that they will hopefully be updated ASAP. But for the time being, there might be some issues with your PC. I think a lot of people are having results with just dropping the graphics down a little bit in the settings and doing some little tweaks here and there, which obviously isn't ideal. If you got a really cool, awesome gaming PC, you want to pump the fuck out of it, which I totally get. And especially a game like Elden Ring, which is next gen. Amazing graphics, looks gorgeous. Of course, you're going to want to pump the shit out of it.
We talked about this in one of our previous shows as well, Cap. But the minimum requirements for Elden Ring are actually like
quite high.
I don't know if I've seen a game that has as high minimum requirements yet.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong, but it's like a 1070 and 12 gig of RAM and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not every...
I'm pushing a 1080 Ti, and I'm really glad I didn't get this game on PC now.
Yeah,
you know, because I mean, I know there's obviously these issues happening graphically, but yeah, I mean, when you've got a game that comes out saying the recommended is a 1070, like, god damn, dude.
Have you just lost Cap there, Pav? Cap has dropped out of the call, baby. Well, while he's gone, then I don't know if we actually mentioned this, but the user score on Metacritic was 60%, and I wanted to talk with Cap a little bit around why that is. And there was a meme on Twitter today that was basically said, well, it's a new PS5 game, right? It's a new Soulsborne game. So people are always going to come and try a new IP, but I think. Oh, it's coming back in. All right, beautiful, mate. Get him back in. But I feel like people are going to try it. And hey, welcome back, man.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. My podcast software just froze in the browser, and I was like, okay.
So, Cap, I was saying that so it copped a 60% user score at the moment on Metacritic, and obviously there's some people. I don't think everyone's upset just about the PC release. I think there's a thing where this is a new IP and it's got a lot of hype, and people are going in to this game without playing any From Software games prior, so no Bloodborne, Dark Souls, anything else, and going in and getting a bit of a
clamping,
getting a bit of a clamping slapped around and going, fuck this, I'm going to get refunded.
Dude, I still remember the first time I played a Souls game, and it was Demon Souls back in the olden days. When it first came out on PS3, in the olden days, and I had just come off Skyrim, and I was ready to play another RPG, and I picked up this weird Japanese RPG off the shelf called Demon Souls, and I thought, fuck yeah, this looks good. Loaded her up, virtually instantaneously got killed, and I was just like, okay. And then walk out into Boletaria, get insta-clamped by this literal zombie minion, and I pretty much took it back the next day. And I'm sure there's a lot of people having that exact same thing. Dude,
I remember seeing shirts before I even knew what Dark Souls was, but I remember seeing people wearing shirts, and it's obviously a meme, but it was like, I beat Dark Souls or I beat Demon Souls. And that was kind of like a thing. So look, I do feel for people that have not played any From Software games that have seen this game that has a 97% score on Metacritic, get in to the game and because it doesn't spell out, it doesn't say that there's iframes in your roll or anything like that. It's like it kind of expects you to already maybe have a little bit of experience in a From Software game. So
yeah. I look. I understand, and I also don't understand. I feel like you should have to play a game for a certain amount of time before you can just put a review out on it. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
I guess that's why they have a Metacritic score and a user score. But Cap, I also wanted to say this as well, that fucking the New Horizon game got bombarded with fake reviews. So I don't know how much you can even trust these. Because well,
that's what I mean. Like user reviews are bullshit, mate. Because it's just like a lot of it is just people talking absolute crud about things. I mean, there's probably a lot of reviews on there if people haven't even played the game, because anyone can make those reviews.
I'm gonna go make one right now and give it 10.
As far as I'm aware, they're useless.
Okay.
Unless someone really puts out a decent little kind of review score out there, and it's well thought out, and they've written some nice text that kind of explains why they do or don't like the game, rather than going, this game stinks, like for no particular reason. Like, how do you even acknowledge that as a review score? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I prefer.
Well, I'm just looking at these, man, and most of these are about performance on PC. Most of the zeros that I'm reading right now, performance.
I mean, if you're using performance about a game, like that's one part of the story. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But
as long as when they fix that, this is the issue. I feel like things like performance reviews and other bits and pieces, and that there was that bug with what was my favorite game last year, Cap? I kept fucking harping on about it. The PS5.
Returnal.
Returnal came out and had no save feature. I don't mind you giving a bad review based on that, but once they fix that, go back and fucking update your review, or go back and play the game and review the game properly.
Why would they? They're just there to bitch and moan. They're not going to write something nice. I don't know. It's just one of those things. But look, overall, Grizz, I think you haven't
told me how many Captain Perths yet, Cap. How many Captain Perths?
Oh, dude, it's easy 11 Captain Perths out of 10. Easy. It's one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Personally, with my bias, and it's a game I fucking like. I get it. It's not going to be for everyone, but fuck, it's a good game. It's so good. It is everything I've ever wanted in a video game.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
with you, mate. I'm with you. Fuck, it brings
Yeah.
back the memories of me. The reason why I'm here talking about video games with everyone right now, the reason why I have a fucking nice PC set up and a PlayStation 5
Yeah.
is the feeling that Elden Ring is giving me about video games. That is why. That is why
Yeah.
I'm loving the game.
Dude,
Yeah.
I live for these moments where a game like this comes out and I feel this way because it doesn't happen often. I think Breath of the Wild, I probably felt kind of like this. I don't think I felt to this degree though, because yeah, this has been something special for me. But yeah, look, ultimately, I think if I'm going to break this down, I think the mechanics have really improved. There's so much more variation in the way that you can build your character, use different weapons, use Ashes of War to alter your moves and stuff like that. I think the sorcery has been greatly expanded.
The trinkets, Cap, the summons
trinkets as well, summons. There's all different ways that you can approach battles and whatnot to aid yourself. I think the story's really good. I would say it, to be honest, I think it's a little bit bland. I think it's fine. I like it a lot. Don't get me wrong. But when I compare it to the other stories that they've had in the past, I think that Elden Ring probably doesn't shine as hard as the Dark Souls series or Bloodborne. I've still got plenty more game to play, so that might change, and I'll update my review if that does happen. But
12 Perths, yeah.
But yeah, maybe a 12 Captain Pertha. But yeah, the lore is really good, but I think it's a little bit bland for now. Hopefully that picks up. But yeah, I think visually so fucking incredible. Yeah, what a game! What an absolute game! And I think this is the one for new players to give it a crack and see if this kind of game is for you. It might not be, and if that's the case, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just put the game down.
Kazi's even thinking about buying it, mate, and he it's like one of his least liked games that I ever streamed. Yeah.
Wow.
Getting in there. And that's one thing that we haven't talked about at all is the multiplayer aspect of it. I don't know how.
Well, I haven't really been playing any of the multiplayer stuff because my first playthrough for Souls games I always do solo. So I don't do any summons or anything like that. I try to do everything myself. But subsequent playthroughs, I'll get in there. So I can't really comment on the multiplayer, but I can tell you the message system has been absolutely lit. Classic messages such as "Is this dog?" And "Finger butthole," and more old time classics.
Yeah, the old time classics, mate.
Yeah. I mean, basically, for those at home who are wondering what the hell we're talking about, you can put like messages in to try and guide people what to do, and those messages will show up in other people's games. And so, yeah, people put all kinds of crazy, weird messages.
I saw a meme today that was someone saying that George R.R. Martin's scope on the game was the messages that you see on the ground.
Oh, that's excellent. Damn, what an author. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I really have to say on Elden Ring for now. I'm sure that we'll be bringing more of that to you as we continue to play through the game. But yeah, I think really we've thoroughly loved it. And if you are someone at home thinking you might want to give a game a crack, give it a crack. Look, it is going to frustrate you, this game. And that is what it is designed to do. But I truly believe that these games have made me a more patient person. 100%. Because you have to approach these things with a cool head. And you just go, oh, well, I died again. That's part of the game. Back to it. But the good thing about this game is you don't have to do things immediately. Go and explore the world. Go and enjoy the lands between and just immerse yourself. Okay.
Put on a nice set of headphones. Grab yourself a red wine. Dim the lights. Tell the missus you're going to be out for a couple of hours and enjoy some Elden Ring.
Yeah. She's like, wait a second, you're in the lounge room. I thought you were going out. Like, I'm in the lands between, baby. But guys, thanks for listening. I think that's going to basically do it for us tonight. Apologies for that weird little audio thing that happened earlier with me disappearing. But guys, you can find us on Twitter. Just look up Oceanic Gaming Radio. You can do the same on Twitch. You can do the same on what else we got?
any podcasting service. But if you would like to fund Captain Perth's new PC upgrade, please go to our Patreon and consider becoming a supporter of the podcast.
Please help. I need thousands of dollars. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to everyone in the Twitch stream. We're going to have a bit of a chat with them straight after this podcast. Again, please go and check us out on our socials that we just mentioned there. And we'll catch you guys next time on Oceanic Gaming Radio.
Thanks for tuning in, you legends. Another one in the books, eh, Capo?
Hell yeah. I don't know what happened earlier with
That was weird.
with the yeah, it kind of everything just froze. Could you guys hear me saying, can you hear me?
Nah.
Nada.
No? Okay, I just
You just
froze.
got booted out instantly. G'day, Kazi. How are you, mate? Nice to see you.
G'day, Kazi. G'day, Ho and Honey. G'day,
Howdy.
Moosey. G'day, Jim. How are you,
Jim.
mate? Welcome on
G'day,
in.
Jim.
Who else we got in here?
Fancy
Just
Badger.
Delicious Gaming. The Badge.
Oh, JD was in here. Hot day.
Hyena, if you're floating around. Guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you. Has anyone in here played Elden Ring yet? Jim, maybe you?
Kazi mentioned he was going to get it. Kazi's got like fucking 10 Xbox Series X's just sitting around in his house, apparently.
Fuck yeah. Can you distribute those to get better graphics or some shit or what?
Fellas.
Kazi isn't actually thinking of getting it?
Yeah,
He said no.
he is. He was thinking of getting it. I'm going to do another Elden Ring stream coming up, Kazi. We're playing Minecraft together. Oh, yeah, fuck. Well, that's right. Me and Cap were going to play Minecraft. Remember when that happened, Cap?
We did for a night.
Yeah. I've already cancelled my realm.
Already. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Guys,
Classic. Well, I mean,
fantastic.
honestly.
Fantastic episode tonight. I enjoyed
Oh, did you
that
like that,
thoroughly.
Pat?
Yeah, it was very good. Enjoyed it. The one question I was gonna ask in the episode was, is it an accessible game? Would you recommend it as a first Souls game? Because I've dabbled a bit in DS1, but
Yes, I would recommend it as your first Souls game.
I think
Because-
definitely. I think it's about as approachable as it's ever going to get.
Yeah.
And-
It doesn't pigeonhole you into being stuck on one particular moment. And, you know, if you started on DS3 with going in fucking bare bones, you're going to get slapped around for probably an hour by Gundyr, I reckon, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think, like, even if you spend, you know, your whole time just mooching around in the first area, it's just so satisfying. Yeah. I think the cool thing is, like, you just keep coming across things in that game. And you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh,
Yeah,
what's
no
this?
shit.
You know, it's just so cool. It's just, oh man, I
attention
literally
to detail.
I've not felt about a game like this in just so long. It's nuts. It's actually nuts.
Oh, mate, I said it on the podcast, mate. I'm the exact same. Moosey hasn't got enough time to spend on it, mate. My time is non-existent. I had to cancel the boys on Monday because work's giving me the clamps, and then I was literally racing home on the train. I'm still in my work clothes. Like I've got no time, but somehow I've still managed to find 20 hours, Moosey, to sink into Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want the time, you shall find the time. But yeah, look, I think it's one of those games where actually, do you know what? I think this game actually does a really good job of giving you a lot of different options in terms of time input. So, you know, like today on my lunch break for work, I was working from home and I was like, oh, I've got a dungeon I haven't done yet. I'm just going to quickly go and knock that out. I did that in my lunch break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's just things you can do if you don't
You can
have
go farm
hours and hours.
materials. Dude, if I had
Yeah.
if I had like a spare 20 minutes and I didn't know where a dungeon was, couldn't be fucking exploring, I would 100% go farm animals and mats and shit for my
Yeah.
stuff.
That's the
crafting,
cool thing
bits
is
and
because there's
pieces.
obviously that's something we've got to talk about, but there is a crafting system which
Oh, dude, and the crafting
Yeah.
system is quite in depth too, Cap. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like you've got to
Yeah.
find the recipe book. Well, I don't want to spoil for anyone, Pav. Sorry, Pav. But yeah, essentially you find things that broaden your crafting repertoire.
yeah,
as you
it's
go.
just it's a very fucking good game. But again, not for everyone, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Mate,
But I
depends,
definitely
maybe.
think that everyone should. I mean, if you've ever thought that you would like to give it a crack, this is the time to give it a crack. for sure.
Yeah, you could fucking play with your mates too. Maybe when we finish our first playthrough, Cap, we can go do some jolly cooperative playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be a cracker idea. Get the Kazi cracker in there.
Get Kazi in there.
Yeah, but yeah, sounds really good. The review on Game on Oz website is basically I died a lot. I mean, I have died a lot as well, like a shitload.
Didn't he still give it a 10 out of 10 though, Jim? Because I actually read that review.
Who reviewed it, Jim?
It was Pete, wasn't it? I think could have been.
I think it was Pete.
Pretty sure I actually read. Jim, I actually read most of your Game on Oz reviews, by the way.
Oh, Pete did it. Nice.
Yeah, I get through most of them. He loves it. Yeah,
I love the goat clip.
Oh, dude, do you know, Grizz, have you seen a fucking sheep doing fucking cartwheels?
Yes, roly-polies down the hill. Yeah.
Dude, I was talking to guys the other day and they're like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, I have seen a fucking sheep doing cartwheels.
Man, cartwheels or like
roly-polies.
Yeah, roly-polies.
Just started doing a roly-poly and I was like, what the fuck is this sheep doing?
Dude, Pete gave Fallout 76 a 10 out of 10 as well.
Yikes.com. Yeah. So you telling me Elden Ring's actually really shit?
Maybe he's got it in reverse. 10 is bad and 0 is really good.
He's been playing golf all these years. But yeah, fucking cracker game. I am kind of looking forward to that new Pokemon game. I think.
Are you? You gonna play
mixed
it?
feelings.
I thought.
I probably will.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I feel like it's come out very quick.
It allowed you to do that, Moosey.
I like to think that it's just been in development a bit longer and they're just announcing it now.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's
probably a good point. Well, no, it's coming out this year.
Yeah, but I feel like it's been in development for like at least the last 6 to 8 months.
Oh fuck, yeah. Boys! I've only just realised now that my name is visible down the bottom.
Oh yeah, I did say that when you joined. I was like, you gotta see that.
Fuck, I didn't know.
That's fine.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go and play some Elden Ring.
One more thing before I forget. Title, podcast title for episode 6. We had one recommendation from Moosey.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Kazi, any recommendations? It's got to have Elden Ring. Does it have to have Elden Ring in it?
I think it was Moosey. They suggested Elden Ring wants their Pokemon back.
What's their Pokemon back? Elden Ring wants their Pokemon back. Yeah, fucking oath. Let's do that.
All right, smash it.
Dude, I swear, just on the analytics front, our best episode yet is the one that has Pokemon in the title.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think our episode 1 and 2 are pretty neck and neck. Really?
Are they? Okay, yeah. Dude, podcast analytics are weird because people end up watching all the other shit as well. Yeah. Like, I feel like they're almost timeless, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. People will go back and listen to shit. No, it's really good. I think the old Podcasto is doing quite well.
Oh, crazy long, man. Just keep pumping them out. I must admit, I'm really enjoying making this content. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about, Cab. I did my first stream back the other day, mate.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to be doing some more when I find time and things. I'm not tired. Do some more Elden Ring for sure.
That's good, mate. Get back on the horse.
Back on the horse, mate. Back on the horse.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm gonna head off because I'm a bit tight myself. I'm gonna do a little bit of Elden Ring and then jump into bed. But guys in the chat, thank you for hanging out and thank you for a bit of post-show banter. It's been wonderful.
Good session, guys.
I haven't even talked to my wife today yet. Seeing her face to face, but I should probably do that.
We'll be back to Mondays as of next week, guys. So keep an eye out for the next episode. Hopefully, some news happens before then.
We got a backlog of shit, don't we?
We have a big back. We got like 30 items on our.
We got some things we can talk about.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. So yeah, appreciate you, fam. And yeah, look after yourselves.
Legends.
All right. See you guys next time.
See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Catch ya.